Mr. Lane with you right here, and we are back in Artists Alley at the Wizard World Chicago Comic-Con 2010, and we are here with Russell Lissau, who is a writer for, well, a whole bunch of things. We're going to talk about all the different things that he does, but you may know him best from Batman Strikes, which is a DC comic book that, well, if you're not reading it, well, by gosh, you should go out and get some because it's a neat book. How you doing there, Russell?
Real good, Victor. Good to see you again.
Good to be. Tell us a little bit about the Batman book and how you got started in doing that.
Sure. I broke into comics actually with Batman, which was a dream come true. For my first published work to be a Batman story was fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm a professional writer. I work for the Daily Herald newspaper, and got to work on my writing chops, through that. And got to meet some people at DC and broke in on Batman Allies Secret Files 2005, which led to the gig on the Batman Strikes. And I was one of the regular writers on the Batman Strikes until it wrapped up, I think, a year and a half ago with issue number 50. And now there's a new young readers Batman book called Batman Brave and the Bold, which is soon to be the all-new Batman Brave and the Bold. And knock on wood, I've got some stories in the pipeline that hopefully we'll be seeing there.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Now, as you've done, how many issues did you do of the Batman Strikes?
6.
6 issues.
Right.
And I know you've drawn a lot of the characters and stuff like that. Do you have a favorite character in the Batman universe?
Favorite character to write, hands down, Poison Ivy.
Poison Ivy.
I love Poison Ivy. I love that she's a complex character. That I think she's more one of the better developed Batman villains. That it's not just a good and evil thing with her, that she's a really complex character, and that makes her very fun to write. On the good guys, there's Batman, there's Robin. I'm an Alfred fan. Batman is cool, but Alfred gets all the good lines. and I've given Alfred some great lines.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite line you've given him?
You know, there was a time where in my debut, Batman Allies Secret Files, where Batman is in the cave and he's been wounded, and Alfred is stitching him up, and they're waiting for the computer to run a program. He's doing some detective work, and Bruce is complaining about the computer that it's running too slowly, and Alfred says as he stitches his arm, "Remind me to sell my Wayne Tech stock."
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now you said there's another book coming up.
Right.
And that's Brave and the Bold.
The current Batman Young Readers book is called Batman Brave and the Bold, and it ties into the cartoon that's on the Cartoon Network, Batman Brave and the Bold. The Young Readers books at DC are shifting over to Wildstorm. This has all been announced. And starting, I think, in either November or December, there will be the all-new Batman Brave and the Bold. And there's a story that's sitting on an editor's desk that I hope one day we'll see print.
Nice.
Thank you.
Now, you also do sketches and things as well.
I do.
Do you do any artwork, or will you be doing any artwork for the comics?
I'd really like to. I'm not a professional artist, but I have art in my family. My paternal grandfather was an artist, and I grew up drawing comics as well as writing them. And I would love to improve my skills to a point where I can do more than just pinups. I think I do a good pinup. I like
the stuff you did.
Thank you. I like doing the card sketches and the pinups for fans. I'd really like to improve my sequential art work, that one day I can write and draw my own comic. I'd love to do that. Yeah.
We're gonna shift gears a little bit now and talk about some of the other projects that you either have been working on or will be working on.
Absolutely.
Some stuff that has just come out, and then we're going to have what we call here on our show the surprise guests. So first off, tell me about some of the other projects you've done.
Absolutely. Well, one of the books that I'm most proud of is Hope New Orleans, which is a fundraiser that's near and dear to my heart. This is benefiting the Southeast Louisiana chapter of the Red Cross, and it's the only graphic novel that's raising money for that organization. This was formed after Hurricane Katrina devastated New Orleans, and I myself am a hurricane survivor. I was a reporter for the Miami Herald when Hurricane Andrew hit in 1992, and I had to make sure that my family was okay and that my house was okay, and I had to go to work. And I had to write about the absolute devastation that you cannot find the words to describe, and that's what my story is about. When Katrina hit and I heard about this project, I knew that I had a story to tell from my own past. And my story is about a reporter struggling to find those words. And I'm real proud of the work we've done. In 5 years, we've raised somewhere around $4,000 for the Red Cross.
That's awesome.
And every time Ronan cuts them a check, it's like, I feel terrific.
That's great.
One in the good column for me instead of one in the bad column.
And not only that, but it's also heartfelt to something that you're close to.
Absolutely. And it was really cathartic to write that story. I knew I wanted to write something, and I wasn't quite sure what. And I was going to write something that was purely fictional. And when I was thinking about what I went through then, and that was 15 years ago. It was 1992. It was 15 years before when I wrote the story. And I knew that fiction wasn't the way to go, that I had to really touch on my own experiences. That's how we got that story.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful.
Thanks, man.
Is there a way that people can go online and look for a copy of this?
It's available on eBay.
Oh, it is?
You can get it at most online comic book stores. Again, it's called Hope New Orleans. You just Google that title and you'll be able to find it. Yeah.
Well, that's one thing to look for and stuff, aside from back issues of the Batman Strikes books and such. Now, you have another project up here that we're going to talk about that has a lot of things that are happening with this title here at the
Absolutely.
Comic-Con today. So,
Absolutely.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. And that's Reading with Pictures, which is a brand new anthology.
So there you go.
Sure. That's a brand new anthology that debuted this week. It came out on the 18th.
Oh, okay.
And it benefits an organization called Reading with Pictures that's based here in Chicago and working with Northwestern University and other organizations aims to get comics into schools and into libraries, not just as part of literacy programs, but history, math, science, to get it into every part of the curriculum. Because you know, and I know, and everybody here knows that kids learn reading comics. And it's a great way to build literacy. It's a great way to get kids interested in learning. And that's what Reading with Pictures is all about. And we're lucky here to be joined by 4 of the other creators of Reading with Pictures.
Come on over here, guys.
And most of us are either from the Chicago area or living here in the Midwest.
Okay.
And we have here John Bivens.
Yes.
John, how you doing?
Very well. Yourself?
Steve Wallace.
Steve Wallace?
Yeah. How's it going?
Tell us a little bit about the project. Now, you do what do you do specifically for that book?
I drew and wrote a story called What If Mr. Killsom's a Monster, which is about a boy being sent to the principal office with an overactive imagination.
Okay.
So, it's just a short 4-pager, but it seemed like a very good, project to be a part
Was
of.
this your own concept?
Yes, yeah. Everyone did their own concepts, that kind of stuff.
So it's an anthology with different stories by different creators and
Because it's for schools and about schools, it's an all-ages anthology.
okay.
And whether you buy it here from us or out in the world, whether you get it at your bookstore or your comic book store, if you're a parent looking for something fun and educational for any age kid, this is the book to get.
Now, do all the stories tie in together, or
While they're all educationally themed, they're either in school, they're based on some educational, so like history, English, there's some about the history of comics, some about science.
It's a story about that has a marine biology feel to it.
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Actually, there are 2, because there are 2. And there are the end stories, the ones at the front and at the back, are about the history of reading with pictures. Going back to the caveman, that's how people learned and communicated.
Well, yeah, it goes all the way back to
Exactly.
hieroglyphics and cave writings, and absolutely, that's the pictorial way of telling stories.
Absolutely.
And I was alive back then, so I should know. No. But I mean, I grew up reading comics. I got in trouble for it at school, but no, I mean that was the superhero stuff. But no, I mean, all the kids I hung out with, all were comic book, enthusiasts and kids and stuff. We traded books and and everything else. So it seems only natural that this should be a progression that would help kids learn and stuff. And
Absolutely,
that's
exactly. I mean, I think everyone involved grew up reading comics or learned to read from comics, from the Sunday comics, or if it was Superman, Batman, whatever it was.
This is another one?
Yeah, this is
Oh my gosh, they're all over the place. And your name is?
Trevor Mueller.
Trevor, and what did you do for the project?
I did an 8-page story called Albert the Alien is New in School, the story of a foreign exchange student from another planet who takes his class back in time to learn about dinosaurs, only to have his teacher kidnapped by a pterodactyl.
Nice.
Yes.
Very cool. And then this was your own concept.
It was.
Now you do artwork and story for it? it as well?
I just did the writing for it. Gabriel Bautista did all of the artwork.
Oh, okay, cool,
Yep.
cool. And tell us a little bit about where you did it.
My story is called One Day with Amy, and it's basically about middle school social situations. It's about little romances that happen, between the first bell and the last, and just dealing with that as, dealing with heartbreak and rejection, that sort of thing as a kid. So.
Nice. And how many overall stories are there in the book?
I haven't counted them up yet.
I think there's 25.
25.
25 stories, 192-page anthology, full color.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's great. That's great. And so you can look for the book online and such. And the name of the book again?
Reading with Pictures.
Ooh, that's nice. That's it. It's like in stereo. All right, well, anyways, gentlemen, I want to thank you all for being here and for sharing with us and letting us all know about your project. It sounds like a great project and a great idea to get comic books into school, telling stories with pictures. It's a wonderful idea. You guys should check it out online. It just came out, so by the time you see this show, it'll have been out for a week or so maybe. Check it out online, and thanks to all you guys for being here with us at the Comic-Con, and we hope the book is a great success for you.
Thank you.
All right. And this is Victor, and we got lots more coming up, so don't go away.